And the scale of the offence and the collapse...
I just want to interrupt
I'm sorry,
it's
absolutely no good interrupting to say it's not true. I am telling you categorically, he has deeply offended our special forces, our soldiers and others. He should apologise and he should honour the fallen.
In this clip, we see a Trump loyalist attempt to spin the BBC over fallen troops, only to get completely schooled by a conservative MP who says his blood is boiling. Press that subscribe button and let's watch the collapse. I'll share my thoughts at the end right now.
Bring in now Carla Sands, who is a Trump supporter and former US ambassador to Denmark in his first term. Good evening to you. Donald Trump said, just to repeat his words, Donald Trump speaking of NATO allies, including Britain, they'll say they sent some troops to Afghanistan, and they did. They stayed a little back, a little off the front lines. That's just not true, is it?
Well, so President Trump is dealing with a lot of issues. They're global issues. He totally respects the troops and their sacrifices. And I will just say the UK and the Danes were shoulder to shoulder with American troops. But what he is looking at is the whole of NATO and its effectiveness and also its contributions when we were in the Afghanistan war. And I do have to say the majority of those NATO allies had caveats. Think of Germany or Italy. One was in, defense only, and one was sort of support. And there are many other countries that were not willing to go shoulder to shoulder. So he's looking at the big picture, not singling out the brave UK troops. And I've met those veterans. They are wonderful people in the UK, in Denmark. But if I could, I think he is looking at strengthening NATO. And when he talks about that, he talks about it in a way that the U.S. troops.
But with respect, Carla, with respect, Carla, that isn't what he was talking about. He was talking about what happened in Afghanistan, and he said, and this is why this is caused such upset here and around the world, amongst veterans and families of those who died. In Afghanistan, 3,500 NATO troops were killed, including 457 UK military personnel. They weren't staying a little back, a little off the front lines, were they?
Your UK troops, the Danish troops, a handful of others were shoulder to shoulder with us. But I'm saying that the majority of the NATO countries are not like the UK.
But he was wrong. He didn't say some. He didn't single out other countries. Why can't you just say he got this wrong?
His words. I would not take offense at this. It is on the whole true.
But people have taken offense at this.
We honor our veterans. There's no country that honors veterans more than the United States. We share how to do that with so many NATO allies. We share best practices. Many NATO countries have not taken care of their veterans. So it's not true that we don't respect veterans. He was speaking overall. NATO did not carry their weight when we were in that war. And I'm not talking about the UK. I'm not talking about the Danes.
But he was. He didn't make that distinction, Carla. He didn't make that distinction. Clearly, the Prime Minister of the UK doesn't make that distinction.
He's the President of the United States with a lot on his plate. He may not have said it the right way.
That's not an excuse for not knowing that hundreds of people from outside the UK, from outside the US, that's not an excuse for not knowing how many, the hundreds of soldiers and troops from outside the US were killed.
I'm sorry. He doesn't know every detail about every allied nation.
Well, maybe he shouldn't be talking about it then.
Overall, it was true. I'm sorry to say, overall, the NATO allies, most of them had caveats and did not go shoulder to shoulder with us like the UK and the Danes did. Let me
bring in Steve Baker.
I'm sorry, because I'm afraid in politics some stuff really does matter. 14 years I've been doing it, and I have to say, with things like this where people have laid down their lives, of course what you say about he's busy, he's got other things on his plate. But I've spoken to members of Special Forces today and others who served in Afghanistan. He has caused the gravest offence to them because they've lost friends in appalling circumstances, put their own lives on the line, seen people blown up on mines. And he has said to them that what they did didn't count. And the scale of the offence and the collapse...
I just want to interrupt
I'm sorry,
for a second.
it's absolutely no good interrupting to say it's not true. I am telling you categorically, he has deeply offended our special forces, our soldiers and others. He should apologise and he should honour the fallen.
We honour them. And I will just say this. If you look at President Trump and every other U.S. president in your lifetime, you will not find one who honors honors our military more and wants to stop the killing in the world. He has achieved so many ceasefires, and he's looking to end this war with Ukraine and Russia. No other world leader was attempting to do this until Donald Trump was elected president of the U.S. starting in January a year ago. It's true.
His words speak for themselves. They have been heard with great weight, and they've caused huge offence.
Carla, given the offence,
in my part, I apologize on his behalf for the offence, but I will say this: no one in the United States history has been more of a peace president and wants to end wars and end killing. He loves life. He loves our Brits. You know that if you read the national security strategy. He absolutely was a love letter to the UK and our European allies.
I mean, he has also accused the UK this week of Axis stupidity and other things. But you've apologised. Do you think, given you say his record on the forces and support for the forces and wanting to end conflict, given the widespread, almost universal condemnation from the Prime Minister, Prince Harry's weighed in tonight as well, veterans,
no
politicians.
No one cares what he says. You know that. No one cares.
Well, quite a lot of people currently agree with him, it seems.
Excuse me, he actually fought, unlike President Trump. Prince Harry actually went to Afghanistan. He stepped up for his country, unlike the President of the United States. So I think that comment is really glib and really inappropriate.
Don't compare him to I don't know what, a non-royal part of the
final word to you, Carla. Given this conversation we've had, you've apologised. Do you think it would just be better if the President just said, I got it wrong, I apologise?
I don't speak for President Trump. I'm
just asking your opinion. Would it be better? Would it draw a line under this?
And I am sorry that people took offence and that they assumed that it was about the UK, and I'm sure it was not. And he does not know about the UK and Danish sacrifices because he is looking at the globe. He does not drill down on these details like you and I might. Okay. He just, the capacity to look at the world and bring peace to 8 different conflicts, that says a lot about this man and his love for life and his love for our military and saving young men.
Carla, good to speak to you. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Nice to speak with you.
I want to pause for a moment to carefully unpack what we just saw, because it was more than an awkward interview. It was a textbook example of how the MAGA mindset operates on the global stage. Near the end, there was a point where the presenter handed Carla sans a perfect escape route. He basically asked whether it might be wiser if Trump simply apologized. Any typical diplomat, any ordinary politician, or honestly any reasonable person would have taken that exit. They would have admitted the phrasing was wrong and affirmed respect for Britain's sacrifice. But she refused to do it. She simply would not. And that reveals the central rule inside the MAGA movement. Admitting the leader made a mistake is treated as disloyalty. It is viewed as weakness. Rather than preserving goodwill with the UK, she chose to embarrass herself on live television to shield Donald Trump's pride. She stared at a British lawmaker, someone whose friends died in that conflict, and insisted he was the one missing the bigger picture. Pay attention as well to the strategy she used once she was pressed. When the reality of the 457 fallen soldiers could no longer be denied, what happened? She instantly shifted attention to Prince Harry. That is the classic distraction move. When facts are against you, you toss out culture war bait for supporters. She tried to ignite a side argument about the royal family because she could not win the ethical argument about the war. This exchange matters because it shows how fragile alliances become under leadership like this. If someone cannot acknowledge a straightforward mistake about Allied troops who died, why should anyone trust them with something as serious as nuclear cooperation? Carla Sands appeared on that program assuming she could bend reality the way she might on U.S. cable panels. Instead, she discovered that facts still matter overseas. So what do you think? Was she truly addressing the British audience? Or was she really performing for just one viewer? Tell me in the comments. And if you like this analysis, tap the like button for more. Thanks for watching, everyone. Your support helps this channel grow and keeps these deep dives coming every single week without fail for all of us.